welcome back to another video. First off, thank you so much for the love on the last video. Oh my god, it was insane. I literally was like in my boyfriend's car and I was looking at it and I was like, oh my god, I just hit 900 views. And he was like, oh my god, really? And I was like, yes, this is so exciting. So I was like freaking out just a little bit, a little tiny bit. Anyways, we are gathered here today. Why did I start that off like we were at a funeral? We are gathered here today to talk about making the blanket of my boyfriend's dreams. So if you're like me and you're super creative and you have a bunch of hobbies and you're kind of an overachiever, but then you're like, oh, I can do this and then I can do this, and then you start off with like a really cool idea, like a small project, and then you keep like adding onto it, and then it like blows out of proportion, and then you're like, well, I have to do it now because like if I go back to the earlier idea, it'll be like not as amazing as the first idea. So what we're doing today is I'm going to show you this blanket I've been making for my boyfriend because his birthday is in July and it is June 1st. So I have about a month to make a queen size blanket. Well, originally I wanted it to be a king, and I put it in my granny square calculator that if I wanted to be a king size with 7-inch squares, like granny squares, I would need 246 squares. And I don't feel like crocheting 246 squares. So we're gonna make a queen size blanket, and then I will only need 90 squares. So that means there's not 9 weeks between June 1st and July, there's only like 3, so we gotta compress the 9 weeks into 3 weeks because I need to make 90 squares, and I will show you the progress so far. Okay, I'm back. I got the stuff. I got the squares. This is what I have so far. This is also the color scheme I'm going with because, well, my color scheme is bright and colorful and kind of like all the colors of the rainbow, or like none of the colors of the rainbow, and his is very like neutral, calm. He likes the ocean, he likes fall, and I was like, oh, maybe I should do something with bees and flowers because he really likes bees and flowers. But then I was like, oh, but he also likes the ocean and he likes whales. Like, I was like conflicted. I was like, I should do it now. Like I'm wasting time. I need to do this like now, get the color scheme all sorted. And I was like, I'll just do some blues and then like a nice burnt orange to incorporate the fall into that. And then he's also like a big fan of some video games. So like Destiny, Monster Hunter, Halo, and Pokemon. So I'm thinking there's gonna be some video game themed granny squares into the blanket as well, so that it's like more personalized to him. So it started off as I'll make him a blanket, and then it went to I'll make him a granny square blanket because that's really fun. I love making granny square blankets. And then it went from ooh, I'll make him a granny square blanket king size because he's a tall guy, so I'll make him something that he can wrap around himself. And then it was like, oh, I'll make him a king size granny square blanket with video game stuff incorporated into it. Then it was like, oh, I'll make him a king size granny square blanket, video game stuff incorporated into it, with color schemes he likes, with appliques, with all of this other stuff. And I was like, well, now I've like set the bar too high for myself and I need to like lower it back down, because while I'm crocheting this blanket for him, I also have to be crocheting stock for my Inglewood night market, which I have not started yet. I have not started crocheting for the Inglewood night market. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, let me show you the different designs for every single square I've done. Oh, and the color scheme. So the color scheme is like a deep blue, a turquoise, a super light like baby blue, and then like a burnt orange. So, oh, I just switched the wall. Okay, so we got the dark blue squares. These are just a plain blue square, granny square. It has like a little bit of like a sun pattern in the middle, and then it just is half double crochets outwards. I'll post a pattern for the circle part in the comments or the description, because after I did, like, after this part, you just do single crochets around, and then single crochet, and then increase all the way around, and then you just do a normal granny square pattern, which is like half double crochets. Then you do like an increase for the corners, and then you just keep going around. So that's what the blue squares look like. Here, I'll give you a better close-up. And they're 7 inches by 7 inches, and I have 4 of these because I'm thinking it'll be like color pattern, like it won't be blue, it'll be like patterned like this. And then the turquoise one also, it's a little bit of a thinner yarn. I like the color, but it's a little bit of a thinner yarn, so it's like it doesn't feel as like chunky or like padded, I guess, but it has the same like sun pattern in the circle in the beginning, which is like we have another 4 squares of these. Yeah. And after every square, I've been blocking them on my blocking board, just dry blocking, not wet blocking, because they're made out of acrylic, so it would not matter if I wet blocked them. That kind of only matters for like natural fibers, but I've been dry blocking them. I've basically been like pinning them down and then leaving them to set for about like 3 days, just to make sure they really got that like shape. If they haven't been keeping this shape, what I do is I just do like a starch, like, you know, when you do your laundry and you want your clothes to be stiff, you want them to be rigid, you know, you like put them in like a starch solution so they like stay rigid. Yeah, that's the word. They stay rigid. So what you can do with the granny squares, if you ever have that problem, you just take one of them and you like dip it into the solution, and then you like put it back on the blocking board, and then you pin it, and then with the starch, if the starch dries down into the thing, it'll keep its shape better. And then by the time you have it sewed in and throw the blanket into its first wash, it should still keep its shape because it's already sewn in. Anyways, the next color is this like baby blue. It looks gray on camera, but it's like a very, very light pastel blue. It has the same thing. It has like the circle. It has the sun in like the middle, expanding outwards. They basically, all the colors follow that shape except for the corners, which will be going like, if there's 4 corners on the blanket, the corners will be going like diagonally into like something in the middle, and the corners will be having a different pattern. So then here's the burnt orange one. Same thing. We got sun in the middle because my boyfriend really likes bees and flowers and like gardens and like whales and stuff, so I'm thinking blue for the ocean / whales, and then burnt orange for like autumn, and then I can maybe like do some like flower appliques. Okay. And then these are the corners, like the corners of the blanket. You guys know what corners are? I don't know why I'm telling you this. We have a sun. I think I did a really good job on this. The sun pattern, I did not make this pattern. I got it from a website, just a free crochet pattern. So as always, I will credit them in the description of the video so you guys can also make a sun. I would say this is like an intermediate level. It's a little bit confusing when you're doing the posts for the actual sun, but once you figure it out, you're like, oh, this is easy. I don't know why I was worried about this. But if you have any questions, I can totally answer them for you. I modified the pattern just slightly to make it easier for me to understand, but it still looks like pretty good. I got 4 of these, so these will be the corners of like the blanket. And then I'll be like alternating the color of the sun and the border with the other colors I've already shown you, like going inward. And then like in the middle, I'm thinking it'll be like oh, I actually have it. Wait. I need to make this piece bigger, but it'll be like a sunburst-y pattern with all the colors like going outwards, and then on each corner, there's, because he likes a bunch of different video games, I'm gonna make like tapestry crochet, like different grids of like his favorite games. So there's like one gonna be like Pokemon themed, and the other one's gonna be a Monster Hunter themed, and then another one's Halo themed, and then Destiny themed. So like there'll be like 4 corners, and they'll have like a little bit of everything that he likes. And hopefully when I'm talking to this camera next, that I'll be like, oh, look at this blanket, I did it, look at all of this work. And if I don't show you that, it'll be, hey guys, back with another update. Haven't crocheted in a hot minute because my hands hurt. Yeah, okay, I'll see you next time. Hello everyone, welcome back to my boyfriend's blanket video pattern thing, diary, I don't know what to call it. It's a video. So this section is basically showing you guys how I made the sun pattern in the circle, like the mini sun. So I got here my burnt orange yarn. It is that one. It's by Loops and Threads. If I remember the color shade, it'll be in the description. Like all my other videos, I've credited everything in the description. So I got the rest of my burnt orange, and I'm gonna show you how to do it. If you need any help, feel free to ask me in the comments or DM me on Instagram, but it should be pretty easy. So we're just gonna start off with a magic circle. So what you're gonna do is you're going to get your yarn and you're gonna wrap it around your fingers, and then you're gonna wrap it around a second time, okay? And you're gonna make sure that this half crosses over. So if you look at it on the side, there's a cross. Here, I'll try and make it more obvious. So it should be wrapped around twice. There should be a cross, okay? A cross like that. And you're gonna insert your hook. This is a 4.5 millimeter hook. You're gonna insert your hook under the first one, and you're gonna hook the second one. You're gonna pull it through, and you're gonna rotate. And then you're gonna grab your usable yarn tail, and you're gonna pull it through to make a single crochet. And that's how you do a magic circle. However, I understand magic circles are confusing as hell, and you know, you may not want to do a magic circle because it confuses you. So this is a hack on how to do a magic circle, but you're like cheating. So you're just gonna slip knot, which everyone knows how to slip knot, I hope. If you don't, I have video tutorials on how to do that on my actual page, so just go look at that. You're just gonna rotate your yarn and pull through the usable yarn through the loop, like that. That was itchy, hold on. Once you have your little slip knot, put it on your hook, make it a little tighter, chain twice. So you should have a little tiny itty baby chain. There you go. And you're gonna insert your hook into the first chain that you made, like this. So you should have like 2 loops, your chain that you're using, and then the other chain, the first one you did. And then you're going to, in that first chain, you're going to do the magic circle steps like you would in the normal magic circle, and it should turn out exactly the same. But for this premise, we're going to do magic circle because that's easiest to me. So I got my little cross, inserting my hook, doing it around, and then from here, with your magic circle, you're going to chain 3 as a start of double crochet. US terms, by the way. 1, 2, 3. So then you have your chain 3 on your magic circle, and then from here, inside the magic circle, you're gonna double crochet 12 times. The chain that you just did counts as 1. So you're gonna do it 11 more times, and in total, you should have 12. So I'll come back once we get to that part. Okay, I'm about to complete my 11th double crochet into the magic circle. So it should look like this so far with the magic circles. I haven't pulled it through yet, so you can still see the loop, but this is what it should look like. I also realized I forgot to show you what a double crochet looks like, but again, there should be a tutorial on my page. If not, there's millions of tutorials on YouTube. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your hook, you're going to yarn over, so you should have 2 loops, or what it looks like 2 loops on your hook right now. You're going to insert your hook with the 2 loops into the magic circle loop, just like this, okay? And then you're going to pull through the usable yarn, okay? So then right now you should have 3 loops on your hook. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over again, and you're going to pull through the first 2 loops, okay? Okay, you pulled through the first two loops, so you should have 2 loops left. And then you're going to yarn over one more time and pull through the last 2 loops. Here. Yarn over, pull through. Okay? I know my finger was covering it. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to show you to you guys. But then that's how you should do a double crochet. I'll show you again. I'll go closer to the camera so you can actually see it. This isn't like the best camera setup for this, but I don't have any other space in my room to show it to you. So you have 1 loop on your hook from the double crochets you've been doing so far. You're gonna yarn over, you're gonna insert it into the magic circle. Pull through the usable yarn, which is what I'm holding between my fingers, and now you should have the 3 loops on your hook. From the 3 loops, you're going to yarn over again, so there should be another yarn there, and then you're going to pull through these 2 loops. Not this one, these 2. Yarn over, pull through the first one, and the second one. Okay, now you should have 2 loops on your hook, and you're going to yarn over again, and then pull through the last 2. Okay, and then that's how you do a double crochet. Okay, so then once you have your 12 on here, you can count to make sure. Once you have your 12, you're just gonna pull the magic circle close, pull it tight like this, and then you're gonna slip stitch the top of this into the top of that. And then you should have the start of your little sun, which, to remind you, it's this is the start, okay? And then the next part is a little bit tricky, but I'll try to explain it as easy as I can. If not, if you don't like listening to the words, it'll be in the description. And also, if you're watching this part and you don't crochet or you don't care, just skip over it. There's no pressure to watch this part. Okay. The next part of this is the actual like arms of the sun. So what you're going to do is you're going to single crochet in the same loop that you're like pulled into right now. A single crochet. And then you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, yarn over, and then this is a front post. We're only doing front posts, no back posts. We're doing a front post double crochet, so you want to like spread out the circle a little bit. You wanna identify your post, which is this thing right here. I hope you guys can see it. It's this little thing. You're going to insert your hook through and then into the other side. So from the back, it should look like this. You should be able to see the color of your hook through it. And from the front, you should be able to see your hook like sticking through it. Like that. When it's like this, you're gonna need your usable yarn. You're gonna yarn over the hook. You're gonna pull it through the post. So, okay, wait. This is hard to do. You're gonna yarn over, and it should look like that. And then you're gonna pull it through the post. So pull it behind the post. And then once you pull it behind the post, you should have like 3 loops on your hook. You're gonna do a double crochet. So like the double crochet you did before, you're just gonna do it on the front post of this hook, okay? But you still have 3 loops. You're gonna yarn over and pull through the first 2, and then yarn over again and pull through the last 2. So then you would have made a double crochet on the loop, okay? The next part is you're gonna single crochet into the very next stitch. So this front post double crochet, single crochet, you're gonna repeat that around the whole circle, and this will act as your increases for the circle, okay? So if you do miss a single crochet or a front post double crochet, your circle might collapse in on itself because it won't actually be laying flat. You'll be missing a couple stitches, okay? So if you don't get it the first time, like pull it out, frog it a little bit, try again, because you want to get this part correct so your granny square looks correct, okay? So from this part with our front post double crochet, we're going to single crochet in the very next stitch, which I'm pulling open. It's this one. See, our post is here, and we're going to single crochet into this hole. And then the next one, you're going to front post double crochet again. So you want to find the post, which I have found it. Okay, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to insert your hook through the back of it. Wait, no. You're going to yarn over first. You want to yarn over first. And then insert your hook through the back of it. Yarn over again. So you have your 3 loops to start your double crochet, and you double crochet as normal. Okay? 2 loops. 2 loops again. And then you want to find the next single crochet stitch. So the very next one, next to your front post double crochet, it'll be like, it might be hidden just a little bit. Like if you see it, it should be this one. It might be hidden just a little bit. So you want to pull it out, you want to stretch it so you can find it. Once you find it, you just want to single crochet normally, and then continue with the next post. This part, the next post, is a double crochet. And you're going to complete that pattern all around until you reach back at the beginning. So it's front post double crochet, single crochet, front post double crochet, single crochet. Okay? I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. This is what it should look like. I haven't closed it up yet, so you can see that it's like a little, like a pie. There's like a piece missing. This is what it should look like. Okay? You should be able to see the front post double crochet, single crochet. You should be able to see it. Hold on, let it focus. Come on. There we go. Okay, you should be able to see it. And then all you're gonna do to join it up is the same thing as last time. You're gonna identify the first stitch with the one you're in, and you're just gonna slip stitch it close. You're gonna chain 1, and then you're gonna single crochet around the rest of the circle until you reach it back here. Just single crochet, nothing fancy. Okay? Then, like always, you're just gonna slip stitch it close, just like this. And then it should look like a sun right now. And then from here, you can do whatever you want with it. This is just how you make a mini sun circle starting off for the granny square. How I actually made the square part, because obviously I turned this circle into a square. It doesn't just happen. So basically how a granny square works is that the parts where you see the holes on the corners, they're just increases. So around in between, they're just whatever stitch you want. So I was just doing half double crochets here. So I just do half double crochets, and then as soon as I get to the corner, I do 2 double crochets. Okay, 2 in the same stitch, 2 double crochets. I chain 2, and then I do 2 more double crochets, and then I continue with half double crochets, and then I continue the corner pattern, and that's all I do. And then you're probably like, oh, well then how do I know how many half double crochets I do between each corner? Easy. You just count. You just count how many stitches are around it, and then you divide it by 4. Okay? And then you minus it by 1. So let me count how many 3 are in here. Okay, so there's 23 in this circle. 23 divided by 4, because there's 4 corners. It's 23 divided by 4 is 5.75, I believe. Hold on, let me check. Yes, it's 5.75. So, so all you're going to do is you're going to, in the stitch you're already in, if you're going to do this, you're going to do your 2 double crochets in the same stitch, chain 2, 2 double crochets again into the same stitch, start 5 half double crochets, and then once you get to the 6th hole, so you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you get to the 6th one, you can do the corner pattern, which is 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in the 6th hole, And then once you get to the 6th hole, you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And once you get to the 6th one, you do the same thing. And you just repeat that until you get to the first corner. And then you chain 2 to symbolize the half double crochets. You put your corner stitch into the same stitch that you just chained 2 in. You do your little pattern. And then you just, instead of doing 5 half double crochets, you just do it normally until you get to the, I'll show you. So this is the corner stitch. So I would half double crochet until I get to this one, the edge of the corner. And then in that edge of the corner, like this part, the whole part where I stick my thumb through, that's where you do your new corner stitch. That's where you do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 more double crochets in the corner, which I did here so you can see the second hole, this one. This would be the second corner of the second row. Then you would just continue half double crocheting all the way around until you get to the next corner, which is this one. And then you would do in that corner stitch, the corner stitches, which is like that group. And then once you're in there, you continue along. So then you don't really have to count how many half double crochets you do in between. The only one that's important is when you're first doing the circle part. But that's how you make the squares. Hello everyone, welcome back. This is a different day than the previous clip. This is a different day. I don't remember when I filmed last, but it was a couple weeks ago because today is, let's see, it is June 28th. It is the end of June. This is a granny square update on the blankets that I'm making for my boyfriend for his birthday. I have now shrunken it from a king size to a queen size. So instead of 257 squares, it's 81 squares, because instead of 7-inch squares, they're 10-inch squares. Okay, you feel me? They're bigger so I can make less of them, because I realize 200 is too many. Anyways, this is the stack we have so far. There's more, but they're being blocked right now, so I don't want to unblock them. But this is some of them. They're all different designs too. I know the last time I showed you we had the sun one. But I've made a couple new designs since then. Well, they're not new, like they're still patterns. But I will show them to you in a second. Let me just find them. Yeah, so we got a little like sunburst one with like the orange in the center, radiating outwards. I'm doing them in groups of 4 because it just is easier for me to count. We have some swirly squares, which are super cute. I think it adds to it. And then we have this, but with the orange and the blue as a background. So we have swirly squares as well. I quite like them a lot. We have another like hole punchy one with like a different colored center. So I have a bunch of different colored squares that I'm going to be using for the project. So far I've made 47 squares, I think, and 81 minus 47 is 30 something, 34. Yes, I only have 30 more squares to make, and hopefully I'll be putting it together. Also, all of the patterns, like I said, for the squares in the description, like last video, because, you know, I guess you guys want to make them too. And I'll also link how to join squares together, because a lot of people get confused or they do it a different way, but I'll just like put it in the description the way I'm doing it. And then I'm also going to put, I got the big piece of fabric to put on the back of the blanket, and I got one of the Karen anniversary cakes for my birthday, the big colored ones. Here, wait, I have it. Hold on a second. I got one of the big Karen anniversary cakes for my birthday to put as a border. This is, it's massive, it's huge. So I'm gonna like crochet it into the fabric. That's why I don't have to sew it into it. I can just crochet it into the fabric, and then one side will be the blanket side and the other side will be the granny square side. Also, I know I said last time that I was gonna put his favorite like games on it, like a Destiny square, a Halo square, Pokemon, and Monster Hunter. But I have decided I don't want to do that anymore. The more time goes on, I'm like, I do want to still do it, but I don't want to do it at all anymore because, like, I've done tapestry crochet before, and I just don't want to tapestry crochet 4 different squares. It's just 4 squares. I know, I'm complaining about 4 squares, but I'm like, I don't want to do a Destiny emblem. The Halo one is kind of easy. The Pokemon is super easy. The monster emblem, like the crest, I don't want to crochet that. I'll put it like here or here or something so you guys can know what I'm talking about. I do not want to crochet that emblem. That sounds like a nightmare. I don't want to figure it out. Okay, I don't want to keep color switching. So we're not doing that. I'll give him something else themed. Yeah. Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome back to making a super awesome, amazing blanket for my boyfriend for his birthday. I have great news. I finished. I'll show a clip of it, but I finished it. It took so long. It was basically 3 40-hour work weeks of me just like crocheting the blanket full time. So if I work 8 hours a day, that's 40 hours by the end of the week times 3. So 40 times 3 is like a number. Let me do that in my calculator because I can't do that off the top of my head. Is 120. Okay, so 120 hours. That's a lot of hours, okay? Like, I still took breaks, I still did hand stretches, I did all of that, but 120 hours, okay? So let's do a cost breakdown of if I were to sell this blanket out of market, how much would it cost and how much would I have to charge to make a profit from the blanket, okay? So let's say for this example, I charge myself around $20 an hour for a livable wage. It's not really a livable wage where I am, but $20 an hour for my work instead of the usual $15 for Canada. So $20 an hour, and I wrote it down. I have math on a little post-it note here. So in total, I use 11 balls of yarn. So 3 of the orange, 3 of the blue, 3 of the turquoise, and 2 of like the ice blue. So the big loops and threads yarn was $4.99 each, and then the turquoise color was more expensive because it was a different brand, so it was around $6.49 for the price. So in total, for the yarn used, it would have been around $60 for all of the yarn that I did use. This is again in Canadian, $60 for all of the yarn used, and then 120 hours of work times $20, because that's how much I'm paying myself, so times $20 would equal $2,400. So that's how much this blanket cost to make, because 120 hours is my labor. I'm paying myself for the labor, you know, that's how much it took to make it. So the blanket, just without profit, like this is without profit, there's no profit from this, this is just how much it would take me to make this blanket to sell at a market, is $2,400. It's a lot of money. I don't think anyone would buy it if I brought this to a market, because people are not willing to spend that much at a market. I've never met anyone who's willing to spend anywhere in the thousands that much at a market, unless they like super bougie, they're like, bam, I can drop that much instantly. It's okay. If I wanted to make a profit from the blanket, I would have to charge double the cost that it would take to make it. So if I were to charge a sum of money to get profit back from this blanket, instead of $2,400, it'd be like $4,800 that I would have to charge to make a profit back, which means I would make back equal to the amount of money I spent and like hours of labor that I spent on this. But for purpose's sake, I feel bad charging someone $4,800, because at that point it's like $5,000 for a queen size blanket. Oh, just for measurement's sake, the blanket is a queen size blanket, so it's about 90 inches by 90 inches. The granny squares are 10 inches by 10 inches, so there's 9 on one side, 9 on the other side, so that makes 90 by 90. So it's a queen size blanket, and queen blankets are really big, so I think 4,800 is reasonable for the cost it took to make it. Like, again, every artist is different, so if you don't think, oh my god, that's so expensive, I would never charge that much for a blanket, that's okay, because you can charge how much you want to make for your blanket. However, for myself, sorry, text tone, for myself, I would charge that much because that's how much effort I put into it. And that's, you know, what it's worth. I literally built it stitch by stitch. Like, my hands hurt. Don't let your hands hurt. Take proper breaks. But, like, my hands hurt, okay? So, like, if you think, wow, dang, that's so expensive, I ain't buying that. This is out of my price range. Good thing you don't have to buy it. And I'm not charging for this, and I'm not bringing this to a market. This is solely a gift for my boyfriend as a birthday present, because I know he likes this kind of stuff, and it's, you know, a gift from me, and, you know, yeah. But I don't usually bring blankets to markets anyways. If I do bring it, it's a baby blanket, and at most I'm charging like $100, $120 for a baby blanket, maybe even less than that. But yeah. Anyways, that's how much it costs to make it, and how much it costs if I were to profit from it. Oh, I forgot to talk about how long it took to stitch all the squares together. So I used a mattress stitch, which is also known as the invisible stitch for stitching in granny squares. I'll link a tutorial down below, or the tutorial that I used to do the mattress stitch. But it took me 2 whole days to stitch together all of the squares. I made 90 squares! 90 granny squares. Oh my god. Anyways, it took 2 whole days to stitch together all of the squares, and then, as you don't have to do this, but I do this, I add a layer of fabric on the back of the blanket, because I hate sewing in the ends. What I do is I just knot all the ends together. I tie really tight surgeon knots, which is just the string double knotted on itself, really tight surgeon knots on all of the loose threads, and then I'm like, fuck that. I am not sewing the ends into the blanket. That fucking sucks. Let me cheat. So you get a piece of fabric to the size of your blanket, and you cut it, and then you crochet the fabric into the edge of the squares, and you go, wow, the ends are gone. I don't have to worry about it. Is that probably bad for the future because the ends will unravel? Probably. But guess what? I knotted them. So if they come undone, I will cry. Also, I do this with all my blankets, and nothing has come undone yet, so it should be fine. But by God, I do not want to sew in the ends of all 90 squares. That sounds like a nightmare. OMG. I do not want to do that. So, we hack in it, we put in the fabric over it, and then one side, pretty crochet. The other side, super soft blanket material. Result? Oversized, heavyweight blanket. Trust me, if you ever start crocheting, and then you're like, I don't think sewing in the ends would be that bad. I think you're over-exaggerating. And then you'll get to a project like this and you'll be like, never mind, it is that bad. Yeah. Anyways. Okay. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the space of the blanket. So it takes up like my whole floor. Ignore the duck graveyard and the crochet stuff, but this is where it's gonna be. The foot, this is the end. I have to cut it, and then I will flip it over so you can see the top.